Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, bringing you Chapter 17 in my Crysis 2 Super Soldier Difficulty video walkthrough. And this one's called Masks Off. And right there, I've trimmed out a massive cutscene because everybody on this game loves the sound of their own fucking voice and they never shut up. And unfortunately, I couldn't trim it all out because there probably wouldn't be much of the video left, so there's me slapping this bitch in the face with my scarab and her head disappearing into me occasionally every so often, you know, so shits and giggles, all that stuff. And you're basically escorting her into this elevator so that we can carry on the level and do a confrontation with Hargreaves and find out what he's all about. And this is the last level on the island, because after this one we're going to be going back to good old centre of New York and, you know, go from there. And there's only 2 levels left. One of them's pretty long and the other one is kind of long depending on how you play it, which is the final one where you have to basically go through Central Park and do a shit ton of killing if you're going to shoot stuff. And if you're stealthing, it's just a case of running past a hell of a lot of enemies. But when this starts, straight away, whenever the game says, you know, recommend tactical assessment, that means there's going to be dudes. If I've not mentioned that before, I apologise because we're pretty fucking late now. But whenever it does that, it tells you you're going to be fighting soldiers. So the best path through this room is the one that I'm doing now, because if you go the other direction, you'll have to pass a shit ton more guards, and it's a hell of a lot more difficult getting past them than it is what I've just done. And once you're up here, you've done that section, which could possibly be a little challenging if you don't know what you're doing. But when you get to here, this bit's just simple. This is just the gravy, this section. There's 1 or 2 guys. They're dead simple to stealth past. It's just a case of either jumping over little bits of obstacles like that and carrying on, and just making your way to Hargreaves. And when you get to Hargreaves, there's going to be a big old conversation because, as obvious, he isn't who he seems, which is a physical thing more than anything else, and kind of reminded me of Fallout New Vegas, and you'll understand why when you get there. But you talk to him for a while, then the Seth will attack, and then you have to run away. And when the Seth attack, it's kind of weird, but I'll talk about it when it turns up on the video. So this guy, I think, is the last guy before the door, so I'm just going to pop his head. There goes my stealth, so that I don't waste any energy. And there we go. When we enter here, it does a nice little cinematic moment where it's nice and bright. There's a shift of focus and contrast, and it shows like the armor room off the first Crysis, maybe? No idea, but there's a ton of suits, there's a ton of history, and in a flashback you saw Prophet in this room, so I'm guessing this is from the first game. But don't quote me on it, never played it. Like I said, my PC struggles playing fucking Solitaire, so just imagine what it'd do if I put Crysis on it. Yeah. Putting Crysis on my PC would be like Apollo Creed facing Ivan Drago. It just doesn't end well. But there's some interesting stuff in this room. I've no idea what that is. That looks like a really shitty starship off of Babylon 5, but I'm assuming it's a part of the alien technology. And lo and behold, Mr. House, Hargreaves is really a dude in a tank who's been living for way too fucking long. And he's got a really nice green glow to him, so quite a tan in that tank. But what I would advise you to do is, while this guy's talking, and boy does he love talking, come up here, stand on this area and get ready, because what will happen is, as soon as you hear the Seth arrive, make sure you cloak, because if you don't cloak, they'll gun you down before this bookcase moves, Scooby-Doo style, and shows you the exit. So, cloak as soon as you can, and then you just have to escape. And once you run through that door, you are pretty much in no trouble of being followed, because I've done this section super slow, and nobody was ever a threat to me from behind, so you should be okay. But if you don't cloak before the door opens, you'll die. I've done it, I've made the mistake. I thought I could stand up here, the door would open, and then I could run away, but it doesn't work like that. You have to cloak, because the Seth will land in the room before the door opens, and it's a little bit of bullshit if you ask me. But, I don't know. I did like this game. It is a good game, but it has its problems. The visuals, however, are not one of them in my opinion. So you've got to come back down here to pick up the syringe, so that's my bad. But as soon as you pick this up, make sure that you move back up to that balcony where I was stood. And I really like bits like this of first-person shooters, where you can see your body through your your point of view. And I think Condemned, especially Condemned 2, did that probably one of the best I've ever seen, because every time you climbed a ladder, every time you did any kind of action, including like the environmental kills, which were pretty cool, you could see your body in them, and it was just a really awesome touch, and I really liked it. I wonder what the fuck happened then. Just got a big black screen of doom. Turns out there's another cutscene. So we'll sit through this shit before it lets us play again. But yeah, my only problem with stuff like that, like especially in Condemned 2, when you did the environmental kills, the sound design just wasn't good enough. You were taking a dude's face and stabbing it into rebar. And rebar is the metal that they use inside when the cementing concrete to make a block. And the rebar gives it its structure, basically, and gives it, you know, that durability. And in essence, it's a metal spike, and you're taking dudes' faces and smashing them through it. And it just didn't sound good enough. And you look at something like Gears of War, when you pop someone's head, it sounds like somebody's just sledgehammered a grapefruit or something, a watermelon. It sounds awesome, it sounds gorgeous, it's that visceral feeling, it's good feedback. When you're sticking some dude's head into a TV on Condemned 2, it sounds like you're slapping your balls against your leg. It's just dull. And it shouldn't be like that. And I actually watched the Battlefield 3 trailer today, you know, the most recent one, where the guy sees the IED and he goes through the air vent and he goes up to the bomb and you get to choose the wire, and then he gets attacked by the insurgent, the Al-Qaeda guy or whatever the fuck he is. And I got the same feeling on that moment. When he's having that fist fight with that Al-Qaeda guy and he's knocking him apart, the punch and the impacts were so low, the volume of them, it didn't sound visceral, it didn't give it that you know, epic feel or make it feel that it was important. It just kind of sucked. And I hope they tweak that, because that's the type of stuff that really pisses me off. If something doesn't feel the part, it's not believable, and that's all it takes to pull someone out of the game. And right now, to get through this room, you have to turn the power off there. But to get into this next room, you have to turn the power back on. So if you come over here, flick the switch, you can now get through the next gate. But make sure you jump, because you will get damaged in the water, which is gay. But that Battlefield 3 single player stuff looks really, really impressive. The engine they've got is really nice. They're bringing the holographic back, and I really fucking hate that sight, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. But yeah, the part where he's on the highway and he's on like the overpass area and he's got the light machine gun and he's gunning at the dudes, there's like an explosion that goes off and you see the palm fronds of the palm tree move and react to the explosion, and I practically had a hard on at that. I thought that was awesome. So I have really high hopes for that game, but at the same time it's got a lot to stand up to, because Bad Company 2 was really impressive. Call of Duty's keep, you know, raising the bar in quality and, you know, replay value and things. Regardless of what people say, they still sell a ton of stuff, so it's got a lot of work ahead of it, and something that's primarily come from PC, it's going to be challenging to break into the console scene because it's a completely different type of people. But I wish it all the best, and I'm definitely going to be doing a guide for it, so rock on, you know, Battlefield 3. Anyhow, this part now, we've got to get our ass off the island, and there's a lot of enemies here, and I really would say don't attack them, don't even try, because it'd just take far too long, and it's really simple to stealth. And the second part of this video is going to be me stealthing pretty much this entire section, so... And it's kind of lengthy too, because you're going to be stealthing through this building, through like an avenue, then across a bridge, and it's, you know, it's up there, it's lengthy, I'll give it that much. But when you come through here, just be careful, make sure that you've got your stealth in a way you need it. I don't know what I'm doing now, just checking my upgrades and shit.
Listen to me, Alcatraz. Hargreave never bluffed in his life.
But here we go, if you move through here, there's a lift. And this is probably where I'm going to cut the video on this section. So once again guys, thanks for watching. Jesus Christ, I got close to that guy. But I'll see you in the next video. You take care now.